Hello everyone, welcome back to this session. In the previous session, we looked at responses for ICT paper 1, that was sample paper that was released by UNEB. And now in this session, we want to look at the same ICT sample papers. Look at the scoring guide, but we are generally looking at item 2, okay, of the sample paper. We are looking at item 2. Let's straight out go to item 2 and we analyze it better. This is item 2 of that sample paper, okay. And they're saying it is in section B. In section B there are two options, so you are supposed to respond to one item, okay. That means having responded item 1 and you respond to item 2, okay, you just make it a paper and you leave it. That's the end of the paper. Don't attempt any other paper. But please read the question, read the instructions very well. Next time you can come saying it's option, it's comparison, okay, or saying it's two items in paper 1 section A. Okay, so let's go for item 2. They are saying Peter, a class coordinator, was requested by his teacher to host a virtual class in which different groups would present their assignments. Most students felt uneasy because they had never attended a virtual class. Okay, feel uneasy because they have never attended a virtual class. And when one of the class members suggested to use artificial intelligence assistant to prepare for the assignment, they objected. Okay, here we are seeing the use of artificial intelligence to prepare for the assignment, but they objected. And now we are saying that Peter tried to guide but failed, and you assisted the class in joining. Okay, and you assisted the class in joining, but they wondered how you did it. However, while waiting for the teacher to join the virtual class, okay, some students exchanged some abusive messages online. Okay, then which causing one of the class members, okay, to quit the online class. Okay, that class member was Mary. He's saying Mary, those messages caused Mary to quit the class, and she claimed that online class would expose her insecurity, like how her father lost a lot of money from his bank account. Okay, then the task, having hit at some key points, we are seeing a virtual class to be hosted. Okay, then from the virtual class to be hosted, we also see the use of presentation, the assignment on that virtual class. We also go ahead and looked at the use of the artificial intelligence in the preparation of those assignments. We also looked at the students failing to explain to their friends. Okay, looked at one who assisted the class to join. Okay, then we end up by giving a task, as in develop the guidelines to be followed by students in the future to prepare a presentation. Okay, so you are supposed to develop a guideline so that the students would follow to develop or prepare for this presentation, and they prepare very well. That was task A. Then for the task B, you are supposed now to evaluate the learner's conduct. Okay, remember we had seen these learners exchanging some abusive online messages, okay, which caused Mary to leave one of the class, okay, before the teacher had come. Then you are supposed to now evaluate that conduct, okay. In other words, it's cyberbullying, if you don't know that, and you give your opinion, okay, on what the father should have done, okay, avoid the loss. Okay, let's go and having analyzed the question, let's go straight out to the answer. Then we see the responses and we see how better we can answer those responses. For the response, I go directed item 2. These are the response, and they are saying the candidate is expected to develop a set of procedures, okay, for to accomplish the given task and sharing it using AI, okay, and other online platforms respectively. Another one, identify the challenge in the scenario and explain it, okay, by relating to the ICT ethical concepts, okay, and finally giving possible solutions and mitigation to the challenges. In other words, that at the end of the question we are requiring it to relate to what we call the net etiquette, okay, net etiquette, ICT ethical concepts, okay. Let's look at sample responses and we continue. These are the sample responses of ICT paper 1, item 2, okay. 1 would start by connecting a computer to the internet. Remember, these students have the laptops, have the smartphones, so you'd have to start by connecting it to internet using what? Using either a modem, a MiFi, okay, or a hotspot or a Wi-Fi, so that they can access AI tools, okay, and other online services needed to prepare for the presentation, okay. Then after doing that one, we would now see that these students would use the AI or open AI tool, okay, such as Microsoft Copilot. They are saying also Canva, it can be Gamma or it can be Tommy, okay, or Beautiful AI. All these ones can help you to develop a Microsoft a PowerPoint presentation, or they help you to gather more information about the presentation or about the topic. You can also use ChatGPT to help and automatically create professional presentation slides, okay. You have connected it to computer, you have used the AI tool now to create a professional slide, okay. Now what you should do after opening this AI tool, what should you give it? You give it what we call commands, all clear prompts, describing the presentation topic, the number of slides that are required, so that AI can generate for you an automatically outline of what you need, okay. Then you continue using AI to enhance or to expand the content on each slide, okay. It will help you to improve on the wording, also in the paragraphing, and make slides clear, okay. Using the same AI, okay, you can even use visual elements. You design one, so that maybe the color schemes, the graphics, the images, and illustrations can also be done by AI. And examples of AI tools that we have given you up there: Microsoft Copilot, okay, Microsoft Copilot, gave you Canva, gave you Tommy, okay, gave you Gamma, gave you Beautiful AI. More people use, if you are into designs, there's also Figma, okay. There's also ChatGPT, okay. There's also GPT, and so on, okay, and so on. So you are supposed now to use them to enhance that presentation. Then after generating those slides, you refine your presentation by removing unnecessary tasks, errors. You remove the facts, okay. You check around the logical flow. It can be the formatting, okay. It can be the arrangement of the pictures, okay, the arrangement of the slides, the flow, the animations, okay, the transitions, okay. Then you download the appropriate format using the same AI. Tell it, make it for me downloadable, PowerPoint or a PDF, okay, and which you can keep it on your computer for presentation purpose in the near future, okay. Then here you now got how you can host Zoom meetings, okay. You guide them how to host Zoom meeting. Tell them go to Zoom, okay. If you don't have Zoom, download it and install it. You must have Microsoft a Gmail account. You use that Gmail account or a phone number to sign in into Zoom and create or schedule a meeting. The meeting will give you a passcode, meeting ID, and a link, okay, of which you can share it with people online, like on WhatsApp, okay, so that they can attend the class, okay. And during that class, make sure that that presentation that you generated can be presented or can be shared, okay. That is a little guidance on how these people can attend or prepare for future presentation. Then alternatively, you can use Google Meet, okay. Google Meet, just visit google.com, go to new meeting and click there. You start instantly the meeting, and you can even schedule a meeting there. Again, a link can be later shared, okay. Then, having guided them on how they can go to the internet, use the AI tools, okay, and again run their presentation online. We now have to go further, and we start on our task B of analyzing the students' conduct. Of course, the students' conduct were not good, and here we are saying they were sending abusive words. This is a case of cyber bullying to each other that are normally online, okay. They normally using what called vulgar language, okay, all slangs that their counterparts take it as insults sometimes, and sometimes it's bis insult, okay. So we want to look at how these learners can be respected to one another's opinions and feeling, okay. One, learners should think before posting the messages online, okay. That can help them avoid harmful and embarrassing information. Then they need also to use clear and professional language during online discussions and classes. This is to avoid excessive slangs, poor grammar, typing in capital letters, that you might appear as if you're shouting, okay. So you know, use clear and professional languages. Then again, respect privacy while you are online. You shouldn't share somebody's information online, pictures, images, and so on, especially without permission. Then avoid spamming, avoid sending too much messages in online meeting, okay. Then you should also credit other people's information. If you got an information online, okay, then give it what you can call a reference. If you don't do that one, then you can say that is academic plagiarism, okay. So you can avoid that plagiarism, which can promote your honesty, promote your academic work. Very nice, okay. Make sure you credit other people's work, okay. Also behave responsible during online discussions, okay. Focus on the lesson, read the message carefully before responding to them, okay. Then we can now look at how the father would have protected himself, okay. One, before losing the money, his father would have used strong passwords containing 8 characters, containing letters, numbers, and symbols, okay. This one makes it very hard for a person to guess, okay. Makes it hard for a person to guess. For example, I can give you maybe this password, and you see where you can guess it. I can type maybe, come here, I type capital T, small 2, okay, X, Y, Z, then $sign, okay. You can see that one can be very strong and nobody can guess it, okay. Make sure you use what we call strong passwords. You should also have protected this information by not sharing details of the bank, passwords, maybe also private photos and videos. And no need of accessing the websites that are unnecessary. You get it? Then avoid suspicious links and emails that come with on your email. Okay, report them as spam. Okay, and install security software on your computer. It can be firewalls or antiviruses. And lastly, you report any online fraud that happens. It can be cyberbullying or suspicious online activities. Okay, report them to police or to relevant authorities. With that, thank you.